And that actually ties into my next goal. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my 2019 reading goals. The light levels have dropped, you guys. They have all but disappeared. I want to try and get this video done in a timely fashion. So it's not just a video of me sitting in the dark room rambling about what I'm trying to achieve book-wise this year. Without further ado, let's jump in. Listen. First and foremost, the number one thing that I'm trying to achieve book-wise this year is actually reading 52 books. That's something that has been hanging over me for like 6 years at this point. I have tried and tried, but I've not quite managed to hit 52 books. I think my best attempt so far was like 41, 42 maybe, something like that. I made a video actually year before last of how many books I read. I think it was 43. That's the most I've been able to achieve. But this year, you guys, I'm hitting 52. If it's the last thing I do, hopefully not the last thing I do literally, but I will read 52 books. I'm claiming it. I'm speaking it into existence. That is happening this year. If nothing else, that is happening. I'm just so serious. It will not be a part of my 2020 plans to read 52 books. All I want is for 1 year to read 52, and then however many I read for each year after that, I will hopefully be happy with. I might even set a goal for each year after this, but this year, you guys, 52 books. I'm claiming it. Now that that's out of the way, my next goal is to try and read a little bit every day. I know that that's not necessarily realistic because life happens, things get in the way, you know. Ideally, I'd like to read for 15 to 20 minutes every day, but honestly, if I read for just 10 minutes in one day, I'll count that as a win because there's other things that need doing and need my attention, so I can't realistically just sit around and read every day as much as I would love to. So if I just manage to read a little bit every day, or for maybe like on average across a week, read for like a couple of hours, I'd be happy with that because, you know, if I'm gonna read 52 books, then I need to carve out the time to do my reading. So that's a goal of mine. Okay, so a couple of my goals from last year are making it onto this list because I didn't really achieve too many of my goals last year reading wise. If you want to see that video, I'll link it up in the cards. See how many of my goals from 2018 have appeared in 2019 if you want to. So like last year, one of my goals is to finish series that I've started, and to be honest, I think there's only oh okay, no, there's 3 series. I was gonna say there's 2, but just realized there's a third. So the number 1 series that I want to finish this year, oh so many S's, Angus Thongs and Perfect Snogging, the Hunger Games trilogy, and the Noughts and Crosses series. I want to say it's a series because I think there's at least 4 books in that one. Hunger Games is obviously by Suzanne Collins. The Angus Thongs and Perfect Snogging series is by Louise Renison. The Noughts and Crosses series is by Mallory Blackman. Those books have been with me since childhood. I've carried them into adulthood, and this year I will finish them. I'm on Mockingjay, which is the 3rd book in the Hunger Games trilogy. I'm reading that this month. Check out my January TBR, which will be in the cards. I don't know when I'm going to get to the Angus Thongs series. I have 1 more book to acquire from that series, and then I'll have the whole collection. I've been collecting those since I was a child, and I am no longer a child, but I don't want to get rid of the collection, namely because I'm still reading it, but also because it's my only, aside from the Hunger Games, it's my only full collection of books from one series. So I think I'm just going to hold on to that and then force my future children to read them because we should all love and appreciate the Angus Thongs and Perfect Snogging series. Also, one of my favourite films, Angus Thongs and Perfect, they changed the name of the title because Full Frontal Snogging, I think, was deemed too intense for a movie title. I don't know, but I remember hearing that somewhere. But yeah, the movie with Georgia Groom and of course Aaron Taylor-Johnson, love it. British classic. I've dedicated a whole goal to this next goal, and that is to read Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. I must be one of the last people who has an interest in that book to read that book. I really want to get ahead with my reading goals so that I can dedicate time to reading that book because it's a big one, you guys. I think it's over 600, even maybe 700 pages, and I don't want to rush through it because it's a fantasy. So I want to take my time and pay attention to all of the details because with a fantasy, because it's not set in this world, I feel like it'd be easy to just, you know, if I rush through it, things will just go over my head, and I don't want to do that. I want to take my time and I want to enjoy that book. There was so much buzz surrounding it last year, which is amazing. I think within the booktube community and beyond, it was just talked about a lot. So I want to be part of it. Like, bring me in. I want to read that book this year. Hopefully in the first half of the year. hopefully. That actually ties into my next goal, which in turn ties into the goal after that. But my next goal is to read books by Black authors this year. There are a lot of them. To name a few, there's Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, Tomi Adeyemi, who wrote Children of Blood and Bone, Maya Angelou, who wrote a lot of things. One that I want to read is I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. And then also Mallory Blackman, who wrote Noughts and Crosses, like I said a few moments ago. I want to read their books this year, you guys. I'm saying it, I'm claiming it, that's gonna happen. I don't know if I'm gonna get to every book by every author, although I think Tomi Adeyemi's only had one published so far. Once I've read that, I can say I've read everything she's ever written. I do want to read at least one thing by each of those authors that I've just mentioned, and then there's some other authors as well that I want to read. Not just Black authors, but books by people of colour in general. I want to have a few more of those on my read list. And as I was saying, that goal ties into my next goal, which is to vary my reading in general. I read mostly fiction. In fact, everything I read last year, aside from my university textbooks, was fiction. So I want to read more books by and about people that inspire me. So for example, Becoming by Michelle Obama, I want to read that this year. I want to read more autobiographies and books on topics that just interest me in general, like Black history. I want to know more with regards to Black history. I just want to expand my reading horizons, really. I love fiction and I will always read fiction, but I feel like I've gotten to that age now where, and it can come at any age, but for me now I feel like I just want to know I just want to know about different things, you know? I want to enrich my mind and just learn things, you know? I don't know if that sounds ridiculous, but I want to grow and develop as a person and just broaden my horizons. So my last goal for this year is to not hold myself to reading a book that a movie is based on. So I'll explain that a little bit. Basically, since I've become aware of books being adapted into movies, if there's a movie that's coming out and there's a book that it's based on, or if there's just a movie in general that I want to watch that's based on a book, I've always told myself to read the book before I watch the movie. And I've done that with like everything, and I don't want to keep doing that. With books that I have an interest in, like, sure, fair enough, I'll continue to do that. With movies that have come on my radar, whereas the book hasn't, I don't want to force myself to read the book first, if that makes sense. Like, not force myself, but I don't want to tell myself, you know what, before you watch this movie, read the book, because I might not have an interest in the book at all. And if I wasn't gonna read it, and if reading the synopsis doesn't pique my interest, but somehow the movie does, I don't want to have to read the book first. It's a small one and it's like a self-imposed one. Nobody was making me read the book first, but that's not something that I want to continue this year, because there's so many movies out there that I want to watch that I haven't because of the book. But not anymore, guys. Like, I've decided I'm turning over a new leaf. If I don't have an interest in a book, then I'm not going to read it. Like, for example, The Martian by Andy Weir, or Veer. I might read that. Maybe not the best example. Finding Audrey, or Aubrey, can't actually remember. I think it's Finding Audrey. I read the book and I didn't like it, and I didn't really have that much of an interest in the synopsis, but because it's being adapted into a movie, I decided I was going to read it. I've said it, but if the movie interests me and the book doesn't, I'm just going to watch the movie. Simple as, really. So as I said, that was my last reading goal for this year. The light has well and truly disappeared at this point. It's probably going to be pitch black any second now. I'm going to wrap this video up. If you feel like it, go ahead and share your reading goals with me in the comments below. If you haven't already, please remember to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you're new here. There should be a button somewhere on the screen for you to do so. There will also be some other suggestions of video content for you to watch after you're done here. I do haul videos, book videos like this one, as well as some makeup videos and vlogs as well. I think that's all there is to say. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye. I don't know why I said that on one breath. Like, why do I always speak so fast? Like, I need to slow down.